So September 30th is Orange Shirt Day in Canada, and this is a day to commemorate all the impacts and all the harms that were done to children who attended Indian residential school, and also to their families and their communities. The reason we call it Orange Shirt Day is that it's inspired by the accounts of Phyllis Jack Webster, who was a child who was all her personal belongings, personal clothing was taken from her on her first day of Indian residential school, including her favorite orange shirt. And so now hundreds of thousands of Canadians wear this shirt on September 30th to honor Phyllis and to acknowledge what was taken from those children and should never be taken from them again. For over 100 years, it was the policy of the Government of Canada to take Indian children, First Nations and Métis and Inuit children, from their homes and their communities and educate them in Canadian schools. And as the Prime Minister at the time said, it was to remove the Indian from the child and assimilate them and civilize them and help them become good Canadians. And in retrospect, people call this a cultural genocide, that the intended policy was to remove them from their communities, not speak their language, not practice their culture, and become different people. The consequences that we have today, where there were dozens of schools, thousands of children across the entire country, was that is intergenerational trauma, that people were taken from their families, they were taught that they were less than, not civilized, not good, sinful, all those things. The core identity of who they were was challenged and removed. And a lot of the challenges that we see in Indigenous communities today, as we saw with the news of James Smith First Nation just a few weeks ago, stems from that intergenerational trauma. The addictions, the depression, the abuse is part of that legacy. And that's why on September 30th, we take the time to honor and acknowledge the harms that have been caused.